Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the April 2nd meeting of the Orange County Mid-Decennial Redistricting Advisory Committee. We will call the meeting to order. It is 6:02. Before we get into roll call, I want to ask everyone to please mute your cell phones. Take the time to double check to make sure that it is actually muted. I'm going to do the same because I could be guilty of it myself, but we want to honor each other's opportunity to be here and gather. With that little bit of housekeeping, we'll move on to the roll call, please.
Member Olszewski. Member Chatson. Member Tilsheimer. Here. Member De La Portilla. Here. Member Arias. Here. Member Callen. Member Jones. Present. Co-Chair Perez. Here. Co-Chair Evans.
Present.
Member Washington. Member Baga. Here. Member Spears. Here. Member Affont. Present. Member Pizzini. Present. Member Henry. Present. Got him.
Well played, Mr. Henry. The next item on our agenda is an item that is very important for us, and it is our public comment section. There are volunteers, or county staff here in the room who are prepared to provide a public comment card should you want to speak during the public comment section and have not yet submitted a card. To do so, we ask that you submit a public comment card, and we will call people in the order that I have here, and we will give everyone 3 minutes, but I ask that you do two things with your time. Number one, understand that we are here to learn from you. We are not here to attack one another, so we ask that everybody just keep your comments cordial, but also understand that the committee will not be providing dialogue during the public comment period. It is not a time where we are not interested in communicating with you. It's just to afford a proper public comment opportunity for everyone. We limit it to receiving the comments from the public. So having said that, two other important things. We have interpreters available for those of you who may need one, and if there is a public comment provider who wants to use interpreter, we will provide additional time to receive those comments. And also, we did receive an electronic public comment form that we want to acknowledge in our record for this meeting. That is from a Mr. Greg Mello from the People of Lockhart Community Association, and that is acknowledged and incorporated into our record. So having shared those tidbits, I'll call our first public comment. We'll have you come to the speaker here, to the microphone here. You'll have 3 minutes. When you are called, please state your name and your address for the record. Our first speaker will be Ann Hill Mitchell, followed by Ann Campbell. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed one step, and Ms. Mitchell, if you'll proceed, but we're first going to acknowledge our commissioners who are present, and that is Commissioner Uribe. If you want to speak to us, and when Commissioner Moore arrives, we'll give her an opportunity as well. Thank you.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, board. I actually want to give a big thank you to the residents who are here tonight. Some of them I've seen at a few meetings, and also our staff for continue to make an impressive opportunity for the public to be engaged and heard. My name is Myra Uribe. I'm County Commissioner for District 3. I know I have become a familiar face for you all, but I think it's so important to know that you've got that support from the Commission and that trust that you all are taking the information that's being heard tonight. You're looking at the areas, you're dissecting this county that we're now going to separate from 6 to 8 and remain to continue to keep conducive and communities together that should be together, and also realize there's very difficult decisions. I will just say, as a commissioner, I have fielded more calls in the last week as this issue has become more popular, where people have asked me, am I losing you as a commissioner? And unfortunately, I can neither agree nor deny on that, and it's very hard because us as elected officials do share a very much devotion to these communities and an alignment and a relationship. So it's great to be in the neighborhood and district of Commissioner Moore. I'm sure she's on her way. But again, I want to thank you all, and I really want to thank the citizens for being present, making sure your voice is heard and being part of the process. Because at the end of the day, when this board brings their recommendations, we are the ones that are going to confirm, adjust, move around, but hopefully get the most concrete and pro districts going forward. So thank you very much. Thank you for the time to speak.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, we'll move on. Ms. Ann Hill Mitchell.
Good afternoon. My name is Ann Hill Mitchell. I live at 5537 Red Bone Lane. I just want to say that, like, the subdivision that I live in is Quail Ridge. We've worked hard in our community to get it up. We like the way we are now. We participate with all of the other subdivisions that are over there. We worked hard on Clarkona-Ocoee Road. And for you to rezone and put us in another district, we do not want that. I mean, we love where we're at now with District 2. It works well for us. Please leave us like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. We'll next have Ms. Ann Campbell, followed by Natalia Alicia. And just so we can, while Ms. Campbell's getting settled, if we can have Ms. Natalia Alicia line up over here to the left, please, followed by Mr. Eddie Cole. And if any of you ever want to donate your time to someone else, please let us know when we call your name. Thank you. Ms. Campbell, your name and address.
My name is Ann Campbell. I have been a homeowner in District 2 since 1991. And my concern this evening, why I actually came here, is to find out the reason for, I call it rezoning. You might call it redistricting, but I call it rezoning. And I know that it's a negative thing. It's not something that will benefit those of us who are living in District 2 to District 6. And I am hoping that the powers of be will think about us living there for so many years and have been climatized to District 2. District 6 is not one of the best zones that we would like to be a part of. So I humbly ask you, I know it's already voted on, but I humbly ask you to think of what has been done and be more caring for those of us who have been in District 2 and have no desire to go to District 6.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Natalia Alicia, there we go, followed by Mr. Eddie Cole.
Hello, I'm Natalia Alicia. I'm at 3502 Tarpon Drive. I'm in Barbara Terrace, and my zip code is 32810. Where I am in the community is kind of on the border of Lockhart, and so the way that it's looking, I might be cut off and put into a different district because I'm unincorporated, and so I'm really in a no man's land kind of thing situation going on. I would prefer to stay with Lockhart. Wherever Lockhart may go, then that's where I want to go, and I believe that our whole community should stay together. That little corridor that we have that's unincorporated really needs to be able to stay with Lockhart. That's our post office, that's the school district that our kids go to, and staying together is probably the best thing that we could ever have. We have been working with Commissioner Moore in District 2. She has brought us together with people of Clarkona-Ocoee, which I'm also a part of the committee on. I'm the treasurer, and so I'm, like I said, I'm straddling two communities, and I love being able to be in the middle of both and be able to participate in both Clarkona-Ocoee Community Association and people of Lockhart. And those two communities really, we are a family and we are united and we really need to stay together in the same district. And I just really appreciate you taking the time to hear us out. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have former Mayor Eddie Cole.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, audience. My name is Eddie Cole, 545 Eaton Street, Eatonville, Florida. I'm here pretty much observing and seeing what's going on, but at the same time, 27 men, 1887, decided that they wanted a little town, and they broke away from Maitland, or not broke away, had their blessings, and Eatonville has existed ever since. I remember some years ago they were doing a redistricting, and a part of it was to split Eatonville, which would have been a travesty for our community. And there's other fabric in this room tonight, in Ocoee or a Apopka, that are part of our district, and we're made from the same fabric. So I speak with them as well, that we hope that we can stay together. There's things y'all have to do, and I applaud this decision y'all have to make, but at the same time, hopefully you can see that there's parts of communities that must stay together, and we can still live as one mission, one message, a better Florida. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Cole. We next have Hattie Bryant, followed by Ms. Trini Quiros.
Hi, my name is Hattie Bryant. I am here as I have learned that some on this committee are perfectly fine with spending a lot of time and millions of our dollars to turn our current 6 districts into 8 while using obsolete data from the census taken in April 2020. This would be like my husband, who is researching fundamental mathematics associated with the early universe, ignoring new data coming in from the James Webb Space Telescope. I learned last week, I was here, that some of you indeed are open to expanding the data and to using the obsolete 2020 census data as a starting point. That's good. Thank you. It seems to me it would be foolish and short-sighted to use only data collected in April of 2020 because AI source Grok says today that a reasonable estimate based on trends is that 60 to 80,000 people have moved into Orange County since April 2020. That is a big group of voters who deserve to be respected. Now, you have a sophisticated and highly paid consultant who certainly has the skill to update its data for this project. Also, I'm concerned that at your March 12th meeting, Peter Johnstone presented a slide showing Orange County map with bright orange lines indicating current district boundaries overlaid with bright green stars showing where the current commissioners live. To me, this was a not-so-subtle, powerful visual hint to you that you must pay attention and not allow a current commissioner to be displaced. Did you know a 2022 state law prohibits the drawing of district lines to favor incumbents? Yet, at that meeting, Shonda White, assistant a county attorney, hedged and said that the law simply states that your lines cannot be drawn with sole intent to favor or disfavor an incumbent. She said, quote, consideration of the incumbent is still a traditional redistricting principle, and it still can be considered. We are going to get a legal opinion from the county attorney, close quotes. As just a homeowner and only a voter and not an attorney, this seems sneaky. This will be the first time Orange County has done redistricting since the 2022 state law was passed. She said it's traditional to consider the location of current commissioners' homes. We are not paying millions for this effort to be stuck with what was done in the past. Please follow the state law and stop trying to go back to how you've always done things. Please follow the state law, or this committee might experience legal action against its work. Thank you.
Next, we have Trini Quiros, followed by Ms. Vicky Vargo. Ms. Quiros, your name and address, please.
Good evening. Excuse me, Trini Quiros, 2000 Hillcrest, Orlando. Congratulations to the people of Apoca and to all of those of us who came over 13 miles to be here, to the board members. I was just concerned and got some information. Orange County is over 1,003 miles, but 900 and change are the ones that are the contiguous ones. So Orange County is the 27th largest county in the state. Orange County has 1,510,000 people as of January of this year. 500,000 plus are my people, Hispanics, people that had the culture of the first people that populated this nation. I am here because in these redistrictings, the tendency by people who don't understand, who don't know, who don't review, tend to divide the weakest link. Hispanics are considered the weakest link, even though they may be a lot of doctors, a lot of attorneys, a lot of people, but they are not into community work. Persons like me are. I'm a community advocate for the last 50 long years of my life and 33 years here in Florida, in Central Florida, Orange County. So I will be a voice for those who are voiceless. There is a substantial population, and as all of us know, the evil Nazi Gestapo laws that are beginning to rule Florida are against my people, my community. There are 5 million Hispanics in the whole state. I don't know how many of them are undocumented. But they are not what they are saying that they are: vermin, criminals, assassins. So I want to bring these things to the public because a lot of people chit-chat behind other people's backs, and they accuse and they say things that are untrue. I'm against every criminal, every person that violates and breaks the law. I don't care the race, the color, or the language. But the innocent, I'm to stand and defend them in any forum. So as a member of a 500,000 plus members of a persecuted community in Orange County, I will be the voice of those people, not only of the Hispanics, but anyone that is oppressed, because we are here to be humans. We are here to be human empathizers, not the enemies, as this new dictatorship and leadership, Nazi burning, that is taking our country over, is trying to make us look. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Quiros. We next have Vicky Vargo, followed by Jim Callahan. Ms. Vargo, you can proceed. Ms. Vargo.
She's going to wait until all the maps are distributed. Good evening. My name is Vicky Vargo. I live at 3800 Winged Foot Court, Orlando, and I'm here tonight to speak to the precincts 216 and 217, Rosemont, Huntley Park, Signal Hill, currently in District 2. We have enjoyed being affiliated with the District 2 neighborhoods of Lockhart, Clarcona, Wekiva Springs, Sheila Road, and South Apopka. These neighborhoods are a community of interest participating in Commissioner Moore's Corridor Beautification Program. However, if precincts 216 and 217, who comprise of the community of Orlando Northwest neighborhoods, don't fit into the statistics, we may be best suited to move to District 5 with other City of Orlando neighborhoods. Also, Rosemont, Eatonville, and Hannibal Square combined could serve as a majority-minority voice for District 5. As a side note, the high school students of Rosemont and Eatonville attend Edgewater High School, another community of interest. Therefore, please keep precincts 216 and 217 in either District 5 or move us to, I'm sorry, keep us in District 2 or move us to District 5. Thank you.
Next we have Mr. Jim Callahan, followed by Mr. Mateo Schulte. Sorry about that. So first, Mr. Callahan, if you'll give us your name and address, please.
Jim Callahan, 204 East South Street, Orlando, Florida. One comment I wanted to address from the committee last week is that I think it's okay to address maps now, and I'm glad we're beginning to see proposals, because it's hard as a member of the public to just give your opinion without seeing what's being discussed. And if we go through the whole process of these regional meetings and then come back and maps are presented, you feel like we're those waiting in the back room or something. So it's better to see them sooner rather than later. In terms of community interests, I think Commissioner Vargo raised a good point about high school attendance. I was trying to brainstorm communities of interest that didn't necessarily reflect elite, political class, because I suggested the legislative districts before, or just real estate, the way subdivisions were laid out. And high school attendance boundaries might give us some indication, might not. I haven't looked at them, so I don't know. But it would be good to look at them before we get too far into maps, because we need to lay a groundwork of saying we are looking at something other than creating districts based on class and ethnicity, because that's what will get us in trouble in court. Finally, no matter what you do, 25% of the voters are going to have new precinct numbers, because 2 out of 8 is 1/4, 25%, and if we follow the convention of having the first digit of the precinct number be, the first digit of the precinct number be the county commission district, then they're going to have new numbers, even if they vote at the same polling place and the same territory votes at that polling place. Anyway, that's just my thoughts for tonight. I'll yield the balance of my time.
Thank you, Mr. Callahan. Our next speaker is Mateo Schulte.
Yes.
Followed by Betty Alston.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mateo Schulte. I live at 4450 Cluster Drive, Orlando, Florida. I've been in the district for about 11 years, and with that 11 years, I see our District 2 have grown a lot. As you see a lot of the members in the audience, we were very proud. People click on Ocoee. This organization was created in 2022 with the collaboration of all the residents on that area to improve our communities. One of them is we see that Orange County was not helping us picking up trash, fixing sidewalks. So we are get together and do this once a month, cleaning, picking up trash, report code violation. Now, in District 2, we're very proud, District 2. I know you guys are going to have to do something about it. We just want to stay in District 2 if it's possible, because we have worked very hard to keep our community as a whole, as a piece, with the people of Lockhart as well. And because you guys have to do what you guys are going to do, but just taking in consideration every single resident that we live in District 2, around the Clark-Corner Coe Road, also Lockhart. We are a very neat family, tight family, and trying to break us is going to be really chaotic. Just think about that. Thank you. And by the way, Ms. Vargo represents a map for you guys to see it. I think this is one of the best maps I see. She actually worked hard to get this map into you guys. Take a look at it. She actually gave everyone in every single district what they need to have. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Mr. Schulte. I next have Ms. Betty Alston. There's a note on the bottom that it just says on the record. Is Ms. Alston's preference to be, okay. All right. We'll enter that into the record that Ms. Alton provided comment. Also, Cynthia Harris is next, followed by Ms. Rose Kalala. Okay.
Cynthia Harris, 12 Channing Avenue, Orlando. I'm here today to speak on some of the things that I've been speaking on when we were in 2022 when we were doing the redistricting, which is my concern about how District 6 is compacted and it has everything that no one else wants. And what I've been hearing tonight on some of the previous speakers, they're talking about they don't want to be in District 6. We have to understand that this is 2 more districts and we're going to have to share the balance of what's going on so that you can have a better picture of what I've been saying in the last redistricting in 2022 and what I'm saying now. These are some of the things that others don't want, but we want to share the wealth because it's going to be 8 districts. We have the Orange County Jail, Orlando Bridges Community Release Center, Aspire, Central Care Mission, Coalition for the Homeless, Orlando Union Rescue Mission, Salvation Army, Christian Service Center, Maxwell Gardens, Maxwell Terrace, Harbor House for the Domestic Violence, Colonial Terrace, Orlando West Hotel, Vacation Lodge, Best Western Hotel, Arrow Motel, Motel X, Cadigan Home, Colonial Drive Apartments, Budget Inn, Bay by Wyndham, Pine Hills Community Corrections, which is now called Orlando Work Release, and various private homes that are turned into rooming houses. These are the things that we have to absorb all the time, and that compacts our district, but these are not voters. These are visitors that are in our community that get counted in the census on another day. So if they're in Orange County Jail, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are residents of District 6. The jail happens to be housed in our community. What we need to do is make sure that we have correct numbers so that we have the right population, because right now it's been unfair to the residents of District 6. And we must do better when we're looking at these maps and we're redistricting, that everybody understands that we have to share it because we've been absorbing it for a long time. Homelessness is a problem in our county, and it's countywide. However, we absorb the bulk of it, and we need to make sure that you have a better picture of what we're absorbing. This is only a partial list of some of the things that we absorb as a community, and we need to be able to have accurate numbers so that these who are transient, because when you look at District 6 is like Disneyland. People come and go every day. And we need to be able to have the same amount of people because every district is going to lose 60,000 in their population when this is over. I thank you.
I next have Ms. Rose Kalala. Ms. Kalala, did you want to speak? Okay, received. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I next have Ms. Nancy Borks, followed by Alonda Sims. Sorry. I did. Yeah, sorry. Oh, well.
Is that okay? Good evening, members of the committee. My name is Nancy Borkus. I live at 7338 Woodbriar Court, Orlando, Florida, in the woodlands of Windermere. I spoke to you last week because we were moved during the rezoning in 2021 without any notice, and we were moved from District 1, where we've been part of that neighborhood since we moved there in 1980, until all of a sudden in 2022, I found out that I was in a totally different precinct in a totally different district. We were moved from 1 to 6. I have friends in the audience with me tonight who were in District 1 for many years, and now suddenly during the rezoning in 2021, they were moved without notice from District 1 to District 2. They didn't find out until they started working on the elections in 2024. So there's a real problem with getting the notice about what's happening here out to the community. I've been reading more things on your website, and unless you know to look on the website, you're not going to find what you need to know. People need to be involved in this because this is not a tweaking of the boundaries of 6 districts. This is an entirely new map with 8 districts. And where the commissioners live really doesn't have that much input into how those lines are drawn, because some of them are close together, some of them are right at the end of the district they're in now. So there's a good chance that the existing commissioners may get moved when this is looked at, if it's done properly, and consider keeping the communities that want to be together, that have worked together for years to make their communities better, keep those people together so they can continue the work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll have Mr. Sims, and then we'll pause for Commissioner Moore.
Oh, good evening. My name is Pastor Landis Sims. I'm pastor of Fellowship Baptist Church of Pine Hills, 6225 Clare Corner, Corey Road. Well, listen, I have members who come to our church from all over the city. I understand that. So I'm very concerned about all of our citizens who reside, who live in our community. However, with our church residing in Pine Hills, my comments will be concise and quite short. I just want us to be quite intentional that no matter how we draw these lines as we go through the process, we do so in such a way where the community of Pine Hills is not marginalized and has a voice that counts and a voice that matters. Now listen, I'm trying to look over the data. I'm drinking through the proverbial fire hose, trying to understand what the position should be, what position I should take. In the world that we live in today, words like equity and inclusion and even words like diversity have become pejorative terms. I hope that we do not look through that particular lens. I want to make sure that we have a voice. I understand that our communities need to be clean. We need to worry about the aesthetics, but we also have to have programs and services that really help empower the community and take the family as a whole person into account. Pine Hills is diverse. Not everybody lives below the poverty level. We have people from all different backgrounds with different educational attainment, people who have different incomes, and I want you to take that into consideration. And I'm just praying for this entire process that you would be intentional, that when you do this with compassion and empathy for the people that you are going to be representing when you draw these lines. I look forward to having more comments and actually taking a position on the matter, but I just thought that you needed to hear from somebody who not only wants to speak for the people, but hopefully I'm also hearing from the Lord. So God bless you. Have a good evening.
At this time, will we receive comment from Commissioner Moore? Thank you for hosting us in District 2.
Good evening. Yes, welcome to District 2. And we brought a lot of people to show you how much they care about the districts and how it matters to the work that we have to do each and every day. I think I have one point just to talk to you about that maybe hasn't come up before, is to consider when you're creating the lines, when you are looking at incorporated versus unincorporated areas, because it really changes the workload. And so for me, I haven't really had to deal with a whole lot of issues in the city of Ocoee because it's a well-run city. And when they call, they are big issues, and I'm there for them. And so the district, the first map that came out was pretty much all Apopka and all of Ocoee. And so it took out a lot of the unincorporated areas that we've worked very hard together to serve. And it's an interesting job because you have a different role when you're in a municipality versus when you're in the unincorporated area. You're serving every need, from the land use to the social services to whatever. And so I just encourage you, if there's a way to do that with mapping, to look at what's incorporated, what is not incorporated, because the workload is greater. And you're hearing a lot of my people here tonight because we really got together with the Neighborhood Leaders Program mainly in the unincorporated areas, and they've been working together very closely. So consider that. I know the first map that came out was concerning to the southern end of the seat because it completely took them out of District 2 when they've been working very closely with folks up in the Wekiva Springs area, which is unincorporated, and then you have the Tangerine Zellwood area, which is unincorporated, and we have the effort to keep them rural. So there are a lot of considerations here. I just wanted to bring that one up. You have a difficult road ahead of you. We've just started. We've just begun, and whoever puts the first map out, faces all the fiery darts. It's difficult, and I think by the end, I saw what you did, and most of you are returning from the last redistricting, and I can't imagine that you signed up for this again. They're really actually very dedicated people. I heard on social media that you all didn't listen, but that's not true. This group listens, and so I encourage you all to come to some of the other meetings because this is just the very, very beginning. But talk in generalities with them and send us maps. The person who put the first map out asked my thoughts, and when I first saw it, I wasn't very happy, but you're never happy with the first map. And sometimes it's difficult if you live on the east side to have the expertise to write something on the west side and vice versa. So I think it's good for those of you on the east side to get to, I know you have sunshine laws, but to listen to the ones on the west because you'll know your areas better. And so it's been my privilege to represent District 2. I'll be term limited out, so it's just been a joy. I've got a lot of the people here today, and they care very much about District 2, and we'll be staying in touch with you to make sure we get a map that works for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Moore. We will continue with our public comment. Our next speaker is Gus Martinez, followed by Erica Gomez Tejado. Sorry.
Good evening. My name is Gus Martinez. I live at 6747 Ullman Court, Orlando, Florida. And I want to thank the board for the work it's doing. I want to say hi to the elected officials and the people in attendance. My concern is pretty much been voiced, except from a different perspective, right? I know you guys are doing the best effort forward and your hearts are pure, but that doesn't mean that the Board of County Commissioners is going to take up your recommendation, whatever you decide. And that is my concern, right? You're going to spend the next 19 meetings or whatever it is. You're going to come up with the best map to benefit everybody's concerned about diluting their power of vote. And then they're going to go ahead and do whatever they want anyway, which they have done in the past. It's not new that we vote on something and they turn around and they change whatever we voted for. So with that being said, I'm here to represent District 3 and 4, where most of the population there are Hispanics. We have seen the efforts in the past where the Hispanic vote is diluted. There's a court case about it, and I sure don't want to head down that path again, especially since District 3 and 4 are the more densely Hispanic districts. My name is Gus Martinez, and I want to thank you for your effort.
So next we have Erica Gomez Tejeda. Yielding time to, yeah, is there a specific person? We usually have to have it identified as who you're, we'll reserve you for last, and if there's someone else, then, okay. Next, I have Cheryl Soriano, and then followed by Francina Boykin.
Good evening. I am so happy to see all of the board members looking at me.
Will you give us your name and
I'm
name and address first,
I'm
please?
Cheryl Soriano. I live at 6612 Aladdin Drive, off of Claricona, Ocoee, and Hiawassee roads. Having been a resident of this particular area for more than 38 years, I've seen us grow. I've seen us come together as a family and work hard to make certain that our area maintains good property value, that it maintains good and safe areas for our people to live in. And fortunately for the area that we live in, we are a nice, quiet, semi-senior area, but we also have a lot of young people moving into the area. Pine Hills area in general has grown and has developed and has worked very hard to make certain that we are one of the strongest districts in the city, in the county. If I had to make a recommendation, I wanted to make that recommendation that because Pine Hills is one of the larger communities in the district of District 2, if we had to, I'd like to see Pine Hills be its own district with one commissioner. One commissioner, whereas right now we have two. And the ideas of the two commissioners are not the same, which means we're kind of split in terms of how we work with both of those commissioners. When I look at Pine Hills, I'm also looking at Apopka, and I'm also looking at Lockhart. Having been an educator for over 40 years and worked with at-risk students in Apopka, in Lockhart, in Edgewater, I know those people. I know those kinds of families. And I know that those people work hard to make certain that the areas in which they live are the best areas that they can have. So if I had to say, I'd like to be Pine Hills, number, district, whatever, but I'd also like to see us, if not possible, not split our districts, because we are split at Colonial and we're split at other areas where two commissioners are trying to make us work. So if at all possible, I'd like to see us stay as Pine Hills, and I'd like to make certain that everybody knows that the community is a combination of some of the best people in this area. Thank you.
Thank you. I next have Ms. Francina Boykin, followed by Ms. Patricia Rumpf.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Francina Boykin. I live at 1484 Elderton Drive. I am a native of this community, born on this very street, 13th Street. The U.S. Census declared my community, which is known as Oaklawn, sold to black citizens during the 1930s after being exed out of the city of Apopka in 1937 with an ordinance. We've been running and running and running and running forever. We, as a community, were people who worked the farms, all mostly domesticated workers. My community, regardless to redistricting, have always been neglect. We are the home to two wastewater treatment plants, a waste incinerator. We are the dump for southern Apopka. So in redistricting, whoever, I must thank Commissioner Moore, who has stepped up to the plate in helping the citizens of this community. People come to this community. Mr. L.T. Hunt, if you ever Google him out there in the comptroller, his deeds specified that the property should never be sold to anyone but Ethiopian descent. I'm grateful to Mr. Hunt for giving my grandparents and parents opportunity to own property, as well as another known figure whose family is still real estate moguls, the Cumbys. So there's a plethora of land, but it's tainted. We live in a toxic cocktail, so whoever will represent us if we're no longer in District 2 should take that into consideration. My family came here in the 1940s from Alabama for economic purposes. They said they was tired of picking cotton for 40 cents on 100 pounds. They were told that money was growing on trees. And all that you see now where homes and houses are were orange groves. I played and ran through these areas. Right up the street, we had a community known as the Graveyard Juk, or the Graveyard Quarters. People live within the cemetery. So any help we can get, we grateful, whatever district we in, because we've been forgotten for so long. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Rumpf?
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. And my address is confidential, so I use 555 Confidential Way. And thank you for being here today. I want to point out a couple of things here. For one, you heard me say it before. I would like for Pine Hills to stay as one district. Not as one district, but stay together. I'm sure there's be other population will have to merge with Pine Hills, but stay together. I'm going to tell you why. Pine Hill has been split between two districts as far as I can remember. When Sintler, Bromer, when Homer, just as far as I can remember. It has not worked for us. So it hasn't worked. Let's just do something different that I believe will work for Pine Hills. And another reason why it has not worked, because when I was campaigning for District 2, running for commissioner in District 2, I was campaigning in Oak Landing and Country Run. I realized it was Oak Landing. I rode through it today before I came. The main street that runs through Oak Landing is Dressa, D-R-E-S-S-A-G-E. So I'm on the north side of Dressa, knocked on the door, campaigning for District 2. I got my petition signed. So you cross the street. On the south side of Dressa, knock on the door, the young lady said, I'm in District 6. Not only did you split the community of Pine Hills as a whole, you split a neighborhood. Now help me understand that. So that's why splitting Pine Hills doesn't work. It divides the community. It has divided the community to the point that I hasn't, but some of the residents in Pine Hill have begun to say, I live in South Pine Hills. I live in North Pine Hills. We don't have a South Pine Hills for District 6. We don't have a North Pine Hills for District 2. We have one Pine Hills. It has caused division when we split up Pine Hills that way. The other thing I want to say in closing, I got a few seconds left. I know each one of you all here are represented by a commissioner. I watched the Board of County Commission enough and been to these meetings enough that the commissioners and the residents have preferences. I also watched it long enough for the mayor to say to the commissioners, I know you have your district that you're concerned about, but the mayor is concerned about everybody. I know you have your district that you're concerned about to represent your commissioner, But I'm asking that you be concerned about everybody and not just specifically your district. Take everybody into consideration. That's my prayer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rump. I next have, and I apologize in advance, Lindsay Sonestad. Okay. Okay. And then followed by, after Lindsay, we'll have Dr. Jim Moyer. Again, if you wanted to participate in the public comment section, we need you to submit a public comment card with one of our staff people. We are coming down towards the end of our list of cards.
Right.
Your name and address, please.
Okay, Lindsay Smith said 4048 Greenfern Drive, Orlando. So I am Lindsay Smith said, the proud president of the people of Lockhart. I'm going to give you a little background on Lockhart. Lockhart's a community within unincorporated Orange County that was first settled more than 150 years ago and has carried on for more than 130 with the Lockhart name. It has always had a strong community identity. However, for more than a decade, a group of Lockhart residents, aided in a partnership with Orange County and our sole county commissioner, has resulted in all kinds of community improvement and engagement. Lockhart needs to have a clear, consistent, and centralized representation. Splitting us into two districts threatens to derail the momentum that we have created. There is no justification for dividing Lockhart when we are such a compact, cohesive community across multiple districts. It also seems problematic to assign Lockhart in whole nor in part to the westernmost piece of a new district that stretches for the first time across Orange County to the east. As you heard Commissioner Moore state, the people of Lockhart have formed relationships with the people of Claricona-Coe, the people of Southern Apopka, and the people of Wekiva Springs. And we have helped transform District 2. Tearing us apart will be detrimental to Orange County because we are a group of hardworking individuals who care about our community and make a difference. I encourage each and every one of you to drive through District 2 and take a look for yourselves. In all honesty, we aren't a group of individuals or a group of just organizations. We have become a family in District 2. We hope that you will recognize our efforts and keep Lockhart together and also with our District 2 family. Thank you for your time.
Next, we have Mr. Moyer, followed by Catherine Nobles.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Jim Moyer. I live at 1811 Southern Red Oak Court in northern Ocoee. I just left the Apopka City Council meeting. I am an elected volunteer. I want to commend all you for volunteering so much of your time. Commend all the people here that have come. There's more people here than at the council meeting or Ocoee's commission meeting last night. So you certainly did a great job in bringing people out. I'm big into volunteerism. As I said, I'm an elected volunteer. I was a volunteer in the military. The majority of our military throughout history were volunteers. I was a volunteer firefighter. About half of our firefighters in this country are volunteers. And I worked 23 years for the Salvation Army. That's basically ran by volunteers. We wouldn't exist globally in 133 countries without volunteers. Like has been said before, I'm an elected volunteer serving as the Soil and Water Conservation District 2 Supervisor. That's Apopka, Ocoee, Eatonville, Rosemont, Lockhart, and Zellwood. I'd love to see them together. I'm proud to serve all those locations. So please consider that. I realize I'm an accountant by profession. I've been trying to work the numbers. I've been trying to say this is the perfect answer. I haven't found it yet. But I do know that Apopka and Ocoee combined is about 102. In 2020 terms, it's roughly about 110 in current terms. So thank you for all your efforts, all your time, and God bless you all.
Thank you. I next have Ms. Catherine Nobles, and then we're back to Ms. Erica Gomez Tejeda. But I see more papers coming. Again, if you want to participate in the public comment section, we ask that you would, with haste, get a public comment card completed. Ms. Nobles, thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kathy Nobles, and I live at 3894 North Lake Orlando Parkway, Orlando, Florida 32808. So I've lived in Rosemont for over 25 years on beautiful Lake Orlando. While Rosemont make up a very small part of Orange County District 2, we have worked tirelessly and at every beck and call with Commissioner Moore and the citizens and neighbors in Lockhart, Apopka, Clarkona, Coy, and everything else that make up her district. We happen to enjoy being a part of District 2, and we care so much about it that several of the members from Rosemont are here tonight. And just stand up quickly so they can see all of you that came out, because we care so much about this redistricting and the remapping that you guys are going to do. So we share the same sentiment as most of the people that have spoke tonight. We want to make sure that we are able to stay with District 2. We would very much like to do that. If for some reason, and speaking with Commissioner Moore, she informed me that she's going to have to carve out maybe 70,000 people in her district. So if for some reason we're not able, because we're a small part of District 2, if we're not able to stay in District 2, we certainly hope that you would show us favor when you're doing the new maps and potentially move us, because we're so close to Winter Park, the Maitland area. We hope that if we're not able to stay in District 2, that you would definitely consider putting us as a part of the new district, which I think is District 7, which will be a part of Winter Park. So that's the request that we have for you tonight. And again, we're looking forward to staying with District 2, if at all possible. So thank you for hearing us out tonight.
Thank you. Ms. Gomez Tejeda. We're going to move on to our next speaker, Ms. Sandra Fatmi Hall, followed by Leroy Bell.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sandra Fatmi Hall, and I reside at 7267 Hiawassee Oak Drive, and I'm here to represent on behalf of the Pine Hills community. And before I do that, I'm going to also let you know that my husband would have been here. Unfortunately, we lost him 5 months ago, and I've got to tell you, I've got to do a good job of representing him here, because he would have been here and has been at every meeting, Mr. Dennis Hall. I just heard Patricia Rump kindly ask to keep Pine Hills together. And I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. Keeping Pine Hills together would work for us, because having a south and a north hasn't served us well at all, under no circumstances. When you're considering Pine Hills, think about our young people as well. We have the largest after-school enrichment and mentoring program in Evans High School and around surrounding schools. I have some of them here with me, and there's 200 in the program. They go back home to their parents and have these conversations if they're not able to be here. And here are some of their concerns. How will redistricting affect local neighborhoods and community ties? Will it disrupt existing school zones, businesses, or cultural hubs? How will the redistricting affect student populations in local schools? Will it create overcrowding or under-enrollment in certain areas? Are transportation and school commute times being considered? Demographics and representation. Does a new district map fairly represent different racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups? Are historically marginalized communities being protected from gerrymandering? Will the new district allow for equitable political representation? Are tax revenues and funding being fairly distributed across these new districts? Are essential services like emergency response, public transit, and utilities balanced across districts? In order for you to be recognized, you must be organized. Under the Pine Hills Community Council, we're doing our absolute best to have the conversation about us becoming our own municipality. But while we're having this conversation, I had to be here to represent and ask you to keep Pine Hills together. North or south doesn't work for us. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Mr. Leroy Bell next, followed by Mr. Sylvester Hall.
Excuse me, I'm a little under the weather. I hope you can understand me. My name is Leroy Bell. I'm a disabled veteran. I've been here in unincorporated South Apopka since 1968. When I hear the word redistricting, when it comes to District 2 here in South Apopka, people in South Apopka need to hold their pocketbooks and close the doors. It seems to be the only time redistricting come around is when it's time for an election to come around. And it hurt my heart to see that the people that really going to set, there's some of them, they're going to that have a say in this redistricting is career politicians. I think South Apopka have had the back end of everything. We have the dumps, medical waste. We have water treatment sewer plants. Just 12th Street down the road there in a community they call Lake Jewel. We have more cancer cases that have passed away. People passed away from different cancer clusters. We have respiratory failure and stuff. But we have commissioners that came in and served this community. We have commissioners coming in talking about nice gardens, nice yards, Easter egg hunts. We have no one to talk about the health issue that people have in this community. This community only have one outlet, and this is the John Bridges Center. And it seems to be the only time that we see people come down on this end is when people are getting ready to set the table for another takeover of another district. It's time. I can name. I'm not ashamed, and I hope you got security because we got Joe Kisseimer, we got Jimmy up front, we got Commissioner Christine Moore here, getting ready to run for the city mayor. What have you done for South Apopka? What's so great about picking up trash beside the road, putting it in the dump that's already in the dump? If you're going to have a conversation, let's have a conversation about health, well-being, fundamental fairness for low and moderate income people. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. The last speaker I have a card for is Mr. Sylvester Hall. It looks like I may have one more card after that. So, Mr. Hall, just let the gentleman give me this, and then we'll get you started. You're fine.
Fine.
Just give me 1 second. I don't want to be distracted when you start. You can go ahead and name and address, please.
Ready? Good evening, everybody. Sylvester Hall, 3091 Rolling Hills Lane, Apopka, Florida. I'm a 21-year retired Navy veteran. I'm a father of 4, a husband of 40 years. And I just want to say thank y'all for showing up and showing out. Thank you for showing up and showing out. You're going to constantly hear me say that our country's in a crisis. We're in a national crisis because too many good people are standing by watching bad things happening and not doing anything about it. It's time for us to stand up against hate. It's time for us to stand up against corruption. And it's time for us to stand up against racism. You're going to hear me say in the future, when we normalize the abnormal, we desensitize the truth to the point the truth doesn't matter. So now let that run around in your brain for a while and look at what you see on the news. So I have heard all the reason why you are concerned about redistricting. But you did your job, you showed up. Now I'm putting a moral responsibility on you to do your job. You have heard the people cry. It's time for you to take that moral responsibility and do the right thing. Integrity matters. Character matters. Laws matters. Procedures matters. Principle matters. Morals matters. The facts matters. Family matters. And all God people matters. So it's time out. You did your job. You showed up and you voiced your concerns. Now it's time for the moral judgment of you sitting on the board, because you know what's right. You know what's wrong. You know who have approached you to do something corrupt or illegal. So stop patronizing the people and stand up and be the leaders that we need in this country. We need strong leadership. So when that map come out, you take a good look at all the faces up here. Hold them accountable. That's what we need to do. Stand up and hold people accountable that we put in position to make sure we are safe, to make sure our kids are safe, to make sure we have a better future. So it's time out. I respect the job that you got to do, and I pray to God that you do that. Thank you.
I next have Miss Sandy Miller, followed by Wanda Randolph.
Hello, commissioners and whoever you are.
Will you give us your name and address?
My name is Sandy Miller, 4430 Cluster Drive. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have any statistical data. I don't have any stats to give you. I'm just coming to you as a resident, okay, living in a community that I've been living in this community for about a little over 20 years. I'm a transplant from New York, okay, and this community that I live in at the time when I bought my house, okay, along Clare-Conacoe Road, was kind of, it had a lot of trash, it had a lot of snipe signs and stuff. So one of my neighbors got me involved with a nonprofit organization headed up through our beautiful Commissioner, Christine Moore. What that ended up doing was a collaboration was made throughout the different communities, okay, that we've learned and that we've loved and that we've grown to adjust with and work together to bring up this entire area, along with Lockhart and all the other areas, Popka. I can't name all of them, but they're there. And so I know them, they know me, they know our group. So as a concerned citizen, we would hate to have anything that would disrupt that. Okay, so we're all working together as one community, even though we live in different areas of it, all right? And we're kind of grown with that. I think that if we become pulled apart, okay, I think it would be detrimental to the community. You know how difficult it is to go knocking on door to door to try and get residents to come out and let them be the voice of their community, letting them know that they can come out and they can partake in keeping everything clean and increasing the property value of our homes, increasing safety in our communities. And it's scary sometimes when you think about it, because you may not even know your neighbor next door, okay, until you come together through our community. And that's what our district commissioner has done. She's brought our community together and given us hope, okay? And so I'm not saying that we can't work with other districts or anything like that, but there's a community that has come together, has grown. It's like a baby, you know, it comes out and it has to learn and adapt to the situations and make changes and everything as it grows up. So if you guys keep in mind as just a regular volunteer citizen to try and help our community stay together as a family, you know what it's like. Consider that. Just take that into heart and consider that we all love each other and we'd like to stay the way we are. Thank you.
Thank you. My last speaker card is for Ms. Wanda Randolph, and this will be the conclusion of our public comment portion, seeing no other requests to speak. We already received that, thank you. But we normally will not be responding to comments shouted out from the audience. Thank you. Ms. Randolph?
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Wanda Randolph from the town of Eatonville, town councilwoman. Glad to see everyone here. And like to say, just continue to do the good works for our redistricting. First of all, I'd like to say that everyone should know that Eatonville is the oldest black municipality incorporated in the United States of America. That's very important. We were established in 1887. Right now, we're 147 years old. And as far as this issue that we're addressing today, we do not want to be left out. We would like to be considered in all aspects of anything that comes our way that can benefit the town of Eatonville. I would like to say also is that we stand by what we represent, and we would like to have a voice and a representative of the table and at the table that's going to work for the residents of the town of Eatonville. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. At this time, it would be appropriate for us to conclude the public comment section. We have no additional requests to speak. Has anyone not spoken that wants to speak? At this time, we will close the public comment section of this meeting. Before we move on for the balance of the agenda, I'd like to take my privilege as co-chair to thank those of you who have attended and shared your comments today. That's what makes this process work. And so we are appreciative of your attendance. Please don't run out. We're still got work to do, but your attendance and your input, and we look forward to hearing from you throughout the balance of this process. Moving forward in our agenda, the next item on our agenda is review and approval of the minutes from our last meeting. So we have a motion from Member Affont and a second from Member Pizzini. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Seeing no discussion, I'm prepared to call the question. All in favor of approving the amendments as presented, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right. Did we have a nay? Okay. So it was unanimous, the approval of the minutes. Is that correct? Okay. Thank you. We're going to go next into administrative matters and review of schedule. Before we turn it over to staff, I thought it'd be helpful to remind everyone that, as staff will go over, we have a website that has all of the information regarding our process. That website is also inclusive of a official repository of maps that are submitted in accordance with our rules of procedure. So that I've heard mentioned throughout the comments tonight about there being a first map. No map has yet been submitted in a manner consistent with our rules of procedure. And so I just want to remind everybody that you may see maps throughout this process that float around, and they may have good ideas or they may have ideas you don't agree with. However, there is a process for submitting them, and that we do encourage everybody to go on the website and avail yourself of the mapping software. It is available for anyone in the public to go on and create their own map so that you can have an idea of how this process would look if you redrew the lines for 8 districts. But ultimately, for a map to come to consideration in front of this committee, it would be through the submission of a map through the rules of procedure that we have included, which are also available on that website. So I wanted to share that for the benefit of everyone while we were here, and then turn it over to our staff and our legal counsel for any administrative matters. Thank you.
Thank you. The website address is ocfl.net/redistricting. So O as in ostrich, C as in cat, F as in Florida, L as in Levon, .net /redistricting. And with that, if you have questions about the website, please contact staff. There's an email address there on the website, and there's a phone number that you can call if you have questions. Please don't hesitate to do that. Just want to call to the committee's attention that we have an extra book that was left the last meeting. If you're missing your binder, please let me know and we'll get that back to you. And then our next meeting, our next public meeting, which will be public meeting, community meeting number 3, is next Thursday, April 10th at Meadowwoods Recreation Center in District 4, 1751 Rhode Island Woods Circle, Orlando 32824. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Madam Co-Chair.
Thank you. Any of our members have any questions for our staff? I will open it. Go ahead. For our legal? So, okay, hold on, please. I'm going to understand that we have miking issues, but I'm going to ask folks from the audience to please not yell out so that we can keep our decorum here. If you have a question for our legal counsel, we'll pivot to that next, but I wanted to see for our staff, do we have any questions for our staff? Okay. Member Callen, you do have a question for staff?
I just want to note that I came in 10 minutes late today.
Yeah, you're not on time.
I don't have the opportunity to turn him on. I don't have it. Just press it.
Not working.
I'm sorry, please. Our clerk has a record of when our members who arrived late, when they arrived to the meeting. Our clerk has that. Thank you.
Yes.
Are there any other questions for our staff regarding the administrative matters that were presented by Ms. Williams? Hearing none, we'll move on to Ms. White. Do you have any updates? And then we'll allow our members to ask any questions they have for you.
I do not have any updates at this time.
Okay. Now, Member De La Portilla, would you like to ask your question?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. It's a question in reference to the memo that you sent us on March 26th. First of all, the memo was very well written, very thorough, and appreciate it. There's a question, let me pull it up here, hold on, excuse me. There's a statement related to the new districts, District 7 and 8, and it speaks about the elections. You referenced that District 7 will have an abbreviated term for 2 years, and then the individual that gets elected to that seat will have to run again in 2028, correct?
Correct.
And then District 8 will serve the full 4-year terms and then subject to re-election. But my question on District 7, because you also talk about term limits for the existing commissioners and how they carry over to the new districts. Will the district commissioner that is elected to District 7 and have to run again in 2 years for a full 4-year term, correct?
Yes.
Will that commissioner be allowed to run again in 2032? The years are getting ahead of me, I'm sorry.
Yes. So the charter amendment expressly states that the abbreviated term does not count towards the 2-term limit. So yes, that commissioner would be able to run for an additional 2 consecutive full 4-year terms.
Okay. I have one follow-up question too. As far as you talk about the renumbering and the numbering of the districts, is that something that our committee does, or is that something that the Board of County Commissioners does after we complete the maps?
That is something that the committee can recommend, and ultimately the board can adopt that recommendation, or they can change it as they see fit. But certainly the recommendation can be made.
Okay. One more question. So let's say there's a scenario where the District 6 commissioner is moved out, is no longer representing District 6, and now is representing a new district based on the compacting of these seats. Your recommendation is, in this specific scenario related to District 6, that you keep that number, that commissioner then be assigned a district, let's say District 8, to keep the terms consistent. Would that be a...
I'm sorry, I don't think I quite understand.
In a scenario where the District 6 commissioner is moved out of his district through this process, right? When we assign the new numbers, should we consider that specific district would therefore be District 8, because the District 6 commissioner was elected in 2022, will serve a full 4-year term, and then is eligible to run again in a new district, but only for 4 years. Is that correct?
I'm not sure I understand still, but I'll try my best to answer. I think it's important to note that the county has vast discretion over how the districts can be numbered. My suggestion to make newly drawn District 7 the district that is subject to that staggered term is in line with the state statute that calls for odd-numbered districts to go towards an election on certain years, same with the even-numbered districts. So you don't necessarily have to consider the fact that an incumbent has been moved into a different district when you're assigning the numbers. I would suggest actually taking a look at the state statute and those requirements.
Okay. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got assigned the wrong basis over here, so, okay, we're getting there. Member De La Portilla makes a good question that I wanted to address. In your memo, you addressed the issue of term limits. And when a commissioner completes their term as allowed in the charter, if under the scenario where Member De La Portilla mentioned where a current sitting commissioner is assigned to a different numbered district, that assignment to a different numbered district does or does not reset the term limits available to that commissioner?
I would argue that it does not reset if it is an incumbent commissioner. If we're speaking of a former commissioner who has sat out the minimum one required election cycle and is now running in a newly drawn district, then yes, they are subject to a new term limit of 2 consecutive 4-year terms.
Okay, thank you.
Unless unless the Constitution is amended, there is a bill pending in the legislature that would set forth a constitutional amendment and would impose a limit of 8 years total of any office. But that we'll be tracking that, but there's been no movement as of yet.
Okay, thank you. Next, I have Member Callen. Okay, next I have Member Alfont.
Okay, thank you. Last time around, we had an incident at the last day based on something that made no sense, but it was made an incident brought before the county commissioners, and I think we need to clarify it. And this is what was the problem. When redistricting, nobody took into account candidates. And a couple of candidates tried to implicate that they were out of the districts. And if we don't have to really consider the commissioners, I don't think much less we have to say, oh, wait a minute, I have to draw a line because there's 2 candidates in District 2 right now, and there's 1 in District 4 that are running and have announced that. We don't have to take into consideration those people. Am I right by that assertion?
Yes, you're correct. And actually, the statute that's been referenced quite a few times that speaks to drawing the lines with partisan intent also applies to future candidates as well. So that is correct. You do not have to consider a candidate's intent.
Thank you. I wanted that clear.
I don't currently see any additional requests to speak or have questions for our attorney. Thank you, Attorney White. This has been helpful. The next item on our calendar would be presentation of maps and discussion, but as we discussed earlier, the process for us receiving maps would be for them to be submitted to the redistricting website through the resource provided, and then they would be included on our agenda for informational purposes for the first meeting, and then the subsequent meeting it would actually be up for discussion. We have no only if presented by a member, correct. Our sponsored maps are the only process that we have them. So at this time, there are none that are set for informational, being provided for informational purposes or set for discussion by the committee because none have yet been submitted. But we do look forward to it, and I anticipate we'll have plenty more in the future. That brings us actually to the closing remarks portion of, well, I thought the maps presentation was, okay. So absolutely, we will gladly go through the portion of our agenda for discussion. Are there any members of the committee that have something they want to discuss that wasn't already addressed? Member Callan? Your name popped up, no?
I want to make a couple comments about tonight's comments.
If you would push your button. Okay.
Oh, it does. Yeah, here we go. This is my second roundabout. I'm Tom Callan, District 3 appointee. Second roundabout with the redistricting. My parents moved here in '63 from Ohio. I went to school up in Seminole County, but I've been through the area here. I used to buy hay in Lockhart for our Sadie Hawkins dances years ago, so I'm well familiar with Lockhart. But I do think that you brought some great points tonight, folks, about the need for us to ensure neighborhoods are kept together. And a couple other items I didn't think about, which was high schools and cultural hubs. I'd like to have maybe our staff look at that for us, maybe give us some information on cultural hubs or high schools per district. That would be helpful along. But, you know, we're a real diverse county. The thing that struck me last time, everything's purple. People live in every district in sizable percentages. There's no one size fits all, and the stereotypes that people have don't exist. So I look forward to this process. You can have a compact district, but also ensure diversity on the board. And I think we'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Callan. I don't have any other requests in the queue for discussion. Member Affont.
You're on,
Okay, thank you. I want to repeat what I repeated last week, and I think tonight we've heard from these communities, and they brought what they want from us to do. As I said in the past, it's never been my intention, and I will fight any of you who try to divide any community. I did it the last time, and I'll do it again. So I want that known. Last map I presented had Pine Hills all together, and it was defeated. So I would like that to be clear. I do not intend to participate or help any map that divides any community. I think one of the things that we can do and we should do is keep as much as our communities together. Now, let's be realistic also, and this is something that everybody, each district needs to lose 70,000 people. Each of the 6 districts need to lose, and I'm going to repeat that, 70,000 people. That's a lot. That is a big chunk, and this is my 3rd map, and I'm going to be honest with you, that is not an easy task. When people went from 6 to 8, it sounded pretty, but they don't know the work that it involves. Realistically, some people, including District 5 that I represent, are going to be out of District 5 because I need to lose 70,000 people. So I cannot keep District 5 the same way it is, and I think that we need to start to realize that. But when making a map, I think my promise to you is I will try to keep the communities together. Okay? I think there was a lady who made a presentation who said, keep Pine Hills, Rosemount. That was you. I like that. I appreciate that. That is what we need to do and to think about. But that is my 2 cents that I wanted to bring up here tonight. Thank you.
Member Pizzini.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to take the time, first of all, to thank all the members of the community, District 2, for being here, and also the passion of the Pine Hill community members. You did a wonderful job in expressing your concerns. Also, COE, everyone is really engaged in the process, and I think that helps us quite a bit see the vision for the future. But echoing the sentiments of Member Alfon, I think it's important that we understand that we need to come to a consent that these communities, somehow, these districts will be decreased by a significant number of individuals. So there will be sacrifice somewhere. I'm not speaking to anyone here specifically, but some perimeters of certain districts will need to move elsewhere. And it seems drastic at first, but I think everyone here on the committee is looking out for the best interest of everyone in Orange County. So I want to make sure that everyone here has that in mind, that everyone in the committee is working hard to make sure the residents of Orange County have their best interests at hand. So thank you very much for being here. I appreciate everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, Member Pizzini. I don't have any other requests on the queue, so we will transition to closing remarks. Co-Chair Perez. Oh.
There we go. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight, and we are here specifically to hear what you have to say. I get taken aback a little bit by the comments of, oh, they don't listen, or you already have a plan, you're hiding under a shelf somewhere. There's 15 of us here. We signed on for 20 public meetings, 1 a week for the next 5 months. We have canceled our vacations. We have changed our work schedules. We sure ain't getting paid unless you want to count the lunch in the back. So we're here to be your partners. We're here to be your friends. We're here to be your advocates. We are going to do the absolute best that we can. Nobody's got maps tucked away. We are just here to do the job that the citizens gave us. Many of us did not vote to go to 8 districts because we knew what this was going to cause. Many of us, when the phone rang, saw Orange County and said, I'm not going to answer that because we knew what this meant. So I love your passion and I love your interest, and I learned a great deal tonight. So I really want to thank everyone, particularly the Lockhart folks and the South Apopka folks, and this was exactly why we're here. But please, as you come up and vent frustrations and share angers, remember there is 15 of us up here who are pure volunteers, who only want the best for this community, and who are going to do our damnedest to get this right. Now, we'll give it to the county commission, and they can do what they want with it, but when it leaves our hands, it will be the best map that collectively we can provide. I know every person on this board, and the integrity is very, very high. So I'm looking forward to working through this process, to more and more public comment. Again, very helpful, extremely interesting tonight. So I thank you for being here, but just keep in mind that these folks are giving up a heck of a lot for not a lot.
Thank you, Co-Chair Perez. Before we wrap up, I just want to again echo everyone's sentiments about thanking you all for participating. If you're ever not able to attend a meeting, I encourage you to go on the Orange TV website. Our meetings are recorded and available on demand subsequent to the meeting, so there's a resource there. Also, I want to point out to you on our website, in addition to the mapping software and the links for the information provided, there's a number of resources that our staff has put together to help make sure that you all are able to provide, have as much informed input and to see the same information that we are referring to help guide our decision making. You have that same resource. So there's legal memos, there's presentations on redistricting principles, et cetera, et cetera. I encourage you to review those resources, review our meetings, listen to what people are saying in different districts. Even though you can't necessarily make it to District 3 or District 4 or where have you, I encourage you to listen to those districts, because a good map is going to do what someone else mentioned earlier here, is going to consider the residents of the entirety of the county. And so I'd ask that you be mindful of that. And before I wrap up, I see a request from Member Kilsheimer to speak. Go ahead. Don't touch it. There you go.
Really quick, I just wanted to recognize one more elected official. Apopka City Commissioner Nick Nesta is here with us.
Good evening. Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, Member Kilsheimer. Finally, as a reminder, our next meeting for the MRAC is Thursday, April 10th at Meadowwoods Gym Recreational Center in District 4 at 1751 Rhode Island Woods Circle. We look forward to seeing you all then, and we will accept a motion for adjournment. We have a motion by Member Affont, second by Member Henry. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.